Black Science TV 111, Osei Kufuor. I'm back at y'all again. Today I'm coming to talk about the soul. The soul. Now, what is this thing that we call the soul? I don't think that the soul has anything to do with the anatomy or the biochemical structure of the human body or any other physical body of what we call the earth. It is a minute particle that is a reflection of what we call God, or that dark matter, or that energetic spark from the heavens that is what most religions call the angels, the fallen angels. This soul is a fallen angel which has fallen into flesh, having a human experience, a human perception, a human reality, which is an illusion, but yet this illusion can be used to further its evolutionary process from one globe or one planet to another, or from one body to another body. Now, this soul is inside of the brain. It is stuck inside of the brain, and until it is released, which we call the death date, it is given a travesty of ideas, so to speak, to become an individual when it is a fragmented constitution of a larger base of what we call matter. Now, the matter that we see, which is flesh, or the matter that we can feel, which is physical objects, is the lowest form of matter. This soul is the highest form of matter because it is invisible. It is invisible, yet it can show itself through the acts of the physical body, through the perception of the brain. Now, the perception of the brain is what gives this soul power on this realm that we call Earth. The thoughts that is moving through the brain cannot be without this soul. So the soul and the brain is giving each other something to benefit from. The soul gives the thoughts and the ideas and the divine will to the brain to be able to give it signals to be able to move through this physical dimension. If people only knew that we have other major organs attached to certain senses that is laying dormant or have not yet been activated in us, they can use meditation or certain seasonal energies when we plant our foot into the soil of the earth, because the earth is a larger organism. It is something that we are a part of. So when the earth is being abused, we are being abused as well. This is why the people who run the world know the science of what we call global warming. It is not global warming. It is the code red for being able to control the energy of the earth to control the people. When they say the earth is heating up, right? It's talking about a certain code for controlling the frequencies of certain activations that is opening up or heating up inside of the spirit of that thing which is lying dormant inside of these major organs, which at one time was activated in the past. 50,000 years ago, our ancestors knew how to communicate to other rivals across other planets, other globes, without being able to use these senses that we have today. They were able to be more in tune with those certain particles that is hidden in front of our eyes now. They can send messages through the atomic particles that become the thoughts in our mind, right, before they are formed or fashioned by the brain and sent into the perception or the illusionary reality of what we create through our ideas, all right? So this soul is more than what we think. It is not something that walks. It is something that can be made as a shadow through the physical body and be sent into other areas of the physical world. It can be stuck as a shadow in houses. It can be stuck as a shadow in certain environments that traumatizes the spark of their soul by way of the brain through the things that we go through on this earth. All right? So there are other constitutional objects on other globes and planets that we have been into before we came to this earth, right? But we have forgotten, but due to the memory laying dormant inside of the energy field of the earth, there's plenty of memory in the energy field of the earth. The geomagnetic force field of the earth is a brain. It remembers. It thinks. It thinks because we think. And how we think, right, affects the atmosphere of the universe, the weather, right? The soul is the real meteorologist if it is in tune to what it is. But because we are not in tune to what we are, and we think that we are the physical body, then we can't control the things or the elements that we come from, we are fallen from before we became babies or children in our mother's womb. We were before we were born. This is not our first life here. Because you can't remember doesn't mean that you can prove that we didn't exist before that. Nothing dies. You are energy. Energy don't die. Where are your thoughts coming from? A lot of people say the brain, but that's not so. Dig deeper. Think deeper. Because when you think deeper, you start to do other things that proceed you in your next life. Your ideas, your divine will. Exercise that. Know who you are and what you are. Because you are beyond titles and products. You are beyond colors and cultures. You just use that, right, to navigate through certain dimensions, to create your reality on a higher level, which is the spiritual level. You are spiritual. Your education is not history. Your education is spiritual. And once you see what you are spiritual, then you'll know the history of your spiritual culture, which is beyond earth, beyond the physicality. All right? So with that much said, Black Science TV 111, Osei Kufuor, I'm out. Peace.